in An-Nadwa Council House, the Parliament of Courage. The polytheists were paralyzed by the carefully planned and speedy movement of Muhammad's followers towards their new abode in Medina. They were caught in unprecedented anxiety and got deeply worried over their whole pagan and economic entity. They already experienced Muhammad as an influential leader and his followers as determined, decent, and always ready to sacrifice all they had for the sake of the message of Allah. Tribes, the would-be loss of the Meccan Muslims were also known in Arabia for their might and power in war and judicious and sensible approach in peace. They were also averse to rancor and prejudice, for they themselves had bitter days of intertribal warfare. Medina itself, the prospective headquarters of the ever-growing Islamic call, enjoyed the most serious strategic position. It commanded the commercial routes leading to Mecca, whose people used to deal in about 250,000 gold dinar worth commodities every year. Security of the caravan routes was crucial for the perpetuity of prosperous economic life. All those factors borne in mind, the polytheists felt they were in the grip of a serious threat. They, therefore, began to seek the most effective method that could avert this imminent danger. They convened a meeting on Thursday, 26th Safar, the year 14 of prophethood, 12th September 622 AD, two and a half months after the Great Aqaba pledge. On that day, the Parliament of Mecca held the most serious meeting ever, with one item on the agenda: how to take effective measures with a view to stopping that tidal wave. Delegates representing all the Qurayshite tribes attended the meeting. The most significant of whom were Abu Jahl bin Hisham from Bani who had besmeared the Prophet with animal entrails to speak for Bani. Abul On their way to An-Nadwa house, Iblis, Satan, in the guise of a venerable elderly man standing at the door, interrupted their talk and introduced himself as a man from Najd, curious enough to attend the meeting, listen to the debate, and wish them success to reach a sound opinion. He was readily admitted in. There was a lengthy debate, and several proposals were put forward. Expulsion from Mecca was proposed and debated in turn, but finally turned down on grounds that his sweet and heart-touching words could entice the other Arabs to attack them in their own city. Imprisonment for life was also debated, but also refused for fear that his followers might increase in number, overpower them, and release him by force. At this point, the arch criminal of Mecca, Abu Jahl, suggested that they assassinate him. But assassination by one man would have exposed him and his family to the vengeance of blood. The difficulty was at last solved by Abu Jahl himself, who suggested that a band of young men, one from each tribe, should strike Muhammad simultaneously with their swords, so that the blood money would be spread over them all, and therefore could not be exacted, and his people would seek a mind-based recourse for settlement. The sinful proposal was unanimously accepted, and the representatives broke up the meeting and went back home with full determination for immediate implementation. Migration of the Prophet. When the iniquitous decision had been made, Gabriel was sent down to Muhammad to reveal to him Quraysh's plot and give him his Lord's permission to leave Mecca. He fixed to him the time of migration and asked him not to sleep that night in his usual bed. At noon, the Prophet went to see his companion Abu Bakr and arranged with him everything for the intended migration. Abu Bakr was surprised to see the Prophet masked coming to visit him at that unusual time. But he soon learned that Allah's command had arrived, and he proposed that they should migrate together, to which the Prophet gave his consent. To make the necessary preparations for the implementation of their devilish plan, the chiefs of Mecca had chosen 11 men. Abu Jahl, Hakim. All were on the alert. As night advanced, they posted assassins around the Prophet's house. Thus they kept vigil all night long, waiting to kill him. The moment he left his house early in the morning, peeping now and then through a hole in the door to make sure that he was still lying in his bed, Abu Jahl, the great enemy of Islam, used to walk about haughtily and arrogantly, jeering at Muhammad's words, saying to the people around him, "Muhammad claims that if you follow him, he will appoint you rulers over the Arabs and non-Arabs, and in the hereafter your reward will be gardens, similar to those in Jordan. Otherwise he will slaughter you, and after your death you will be burnt in hell fire." He was too confident of the success of his devilish plan. Allah the Almighty, however, in whose hands lie the sovereignty of the heavens and earth, does what he desires. He renders succor and can never be overpowered. He did exactly what he later said to his Prophet.